Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Lagos Youth Show on Lagos Television. I'm super excited because I have my interesting madam with me.
Hi. I want to be posh now. Hi.
Anyway, yes, this is that one show where we bring you all of the gist, all of the conversations as it relates to our young, beautiful minds here in Lagos State. We bring you gist all the way from Ikeja, Badagry, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, and of course to our amazing young people in Ekpe. Yes, that one show, just that one show. From entertainment to sport to engagement to fun, all of the conversations, career, entrepreneurship, everything we bring it to you on one show. And just like every other episode, this one is definitely going to be an extraordinary one.
Of course.
My name is Tosin Ikuyiminu, and of course, look at her.
I am Oluwatosin Olajide, and you're welcome to the show. Tosin has given you the outline already. So, what do you need to do? Stay glued, watch it weekly. We got you covered from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back with our guests as we discuss a very, very important topic as it relates to mental health. Mental health.
Should I say the Yoruba? Ani ilera opolo. Clock it.
Shay, can we clock mental health matter? Okay, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back with our guests.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still the Lagos Youth Show, and as we promised, it's going to be an insightful conversation as it relates to mental health, and young people. Of course, you know that mental health is pretty much an interesting conversation in this age of time as it relates to the way young people are predisposed to social media. There's a whole lot of peer pressure in our society today. Young people are beginning to make decisions outside the box, which in return affect a lot of their, mindset shifts, the way they see life, and how they interrelate with their peers. All of that conversation is going to be the core of our focus on this episode, as we have an exciting guest with us in this studio.
Yes, we have a guest with us. And the name of our guest is Rilwan Amo. Yeah, Rilwan Amo, and he's a mental health awareness advocate. He's a founder of Evolve. That's Hevolve.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
So let's go straight to it, because
straight
mental
to
health is a serious thing.
conversation.
A lot of people say that. I've heard people say, there's no such thing as mental health, particularly Gen X, parents' generation, and the baby was like, and your mom nowadays, mental health. So I would really like for us to clarify that. What do you think is the current state of mental health, particularly with young people in a pressure state like Lagos?
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much. Mental health in Lagos State youths is the experience. Is a rising experience, and is a crisis right now. We've seen many youths now deal with depression, anxiety disorder, and even drug abuse. And this is because for a state like Lagos State, where everything is moving at a fast pace, there are pressure from everywhere. There's pressure even just commuting from Lagos, from mainland to the island. That's a lot of pressure on its own. Then you now have to deal with work. You have to deal with pressure from family, depending on maybe you are due for marriage or not. And there are other things that youth really now have to deal with as they grow older. And because most of these things are not being addressed immediately. There is also a stigma. There is also a stigma, just like you said. Some people doesn't even believe in mental health, and there is a compared to the number of people we have in Lagos State or the number of people we have in Nigeria, the professionals who are supposed to attend to them, they are not as much as that. So those are everything that that affects how youth in Lagos State, how mental health affect the youth in Lagos State.
Fantastic.
Okay, so looking at it, you mentioned the other time, you talked about how different things can actually affect mental health.
Yeah.
Now, we all know the era, the season that we are in now. That's the season of, the era of social media.
Yeah.
We all know, we see a lot of things on social media. Everybody, you just pick your phone and just, going through it. You see something now, you see another thing. How does social media, contribute to whatever is happening with mental health?
Yeah, that's a very big question, and I would say social media contributes, let me say, like 50%. Why do I say 50%? Because it takes the larger bunch of why people have to deal with mental health issue. For instance, you just go on TikTok, on Instagram or Snapchat, and you see that maybe your peers, maybe people you went to university together are already posting bends. Or you see that the lady who was used to carry like 55 in your class is now living in Lekki or Ikoyi. And it makes you feel like maybe you are not doing enough. Maybe you are still earning 120K in the bank that you are currently working. And
Why bank? Bank pressure.
so, and you see all of those things, it feels like you are not doing enough. And to say that all of these are, they say fake it till you make it. Most of these things are fake life. You don't even know what is true.
It's true.
But we measure our life as against what is going on social media. And that's why I said it's 50%. And many people fell into depression just by comparing their life to what they see. And also our celebrities are not trying. Yeah, I know because they are celebrity, they have to live like extravagant and make it look as if you are doing okay. But the whole thing just needs to be moderated because it's really affecting the youth.
Okay, so I think I actually agree to what you said, because there are some celebrities that don't post all these sort of things, and they have it
the work
enough.
part. Yes, their life. So for instance, now if I go to your social media and I see that is well prim and proper, probably I'm looking for a speaker to come and speak on anything in my community or something, and I see that it's very, very prim and proper, I will go out because I feel like it is staged.
Something
Something is not right. If you are not showing me how you were in traffic for 3 hours.
Yeah, but not everybody puts this thing
Because
there,
and that is it. It makes it feel like these people don't go through stuff.
Yeah.
And their life is so perfect. They have it all figured out. They don't even go to toilet.
So I mean, I like the angle. Yeah, we need celebrities that sort of create the balance.
Yeah.
Of course, they call it showbiz for a reason.
Yeah, showbiz.
Showbiz, right? So, but when we have that balance, it just has a way. It shows people that there are times for this and there are times for this, and there's time to work. There's time to show social proof.
Yes.
But let's tweak the conversation a little bit.
Okay.
Right? To economy.
Yeah.
Right. Whether we choose to accept it or not. There's macroeconomy, there's microeconomy.
Yeah.
At the microeconomy level, every single, particularly young people, are complaining that the standards of living, it's becoming difficult for an average young person out there, and we've seen how this affect young people's mental health beyond just comparison on social media. What are the things you would advise to a young person out there that's sort of going through some sort of financial pressure as a result to the economy?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think before I answer that question, another thing to look out for young people, youth especially, is that, first off, don't compare your life with anybody.
Don't compare. No.
Because, so let's assume I currently earn 120,000.
Yeah, this 120.
Yeah, this 120,000. Okay. Let me change it a bit. Maybe I actually bought something on the road and it was that amount. So on my way here, maybe you currently on, let's say, 200,000.
Okay.
You don't have a reason to live in Lekki.
At all.
You don't even have a reason to live in maybe land, Bagada, Ikeja.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Houses are expensive, even not bad.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And because the peer pressure that we've boxed ourselves into, that is why people now do beyond their means. Because even if you don't do beyond your means, there should be no reason why you should have financial pressure.
True.
You already know what is going to, for a salary earner like myself, I already know what is coming in a month. I don't have side gig. I don't have other things. So I already know what is coming in a month. And I'm going to budget based off that. My house rent, fuel, data, feeding, and all of those things. By the time you break all of those things down, you now know that, okay, after you have saved also, you've done a bit of investments, you now know that, okay, this is what is remaining to do oble. And if there's anything to do oble in your house, drink your gari and all. So at the end of the day, we still measure ourselves with our peers. And you don't know what these people are doing behind the back. And some people now, you know, we've been talking about Nepo baby and Lapo baby. Some people are actually Nepo, and they have someone who can actually fund that lifestyle. So we just need to be realistic, know what you earn, and measure your lifestyle based off that.
Fantastic.
Okay, so now let's assume. Okay, so don't let me assume. Let me just make it this way. There are a lot of people that found themselves in a situation where they feel like, okay, at this point, fine, I've messed up.
Yeah.
I've copied somebody. Now, their mental health, one way or the other, is being affected. Their mental health is messed already. And they don't know, or they feel like, if I ask for help, probably I'll be made jest of, you know, those kind of things. How do someone like that, that feels like, okay, probably they will insult me, or they'll make me feel like, you said, why you go do am?
Do am, yeah.
How do you think that kind of person can find help?
Okay, thank you very much. Like 10 years back or 20 years back, mental health conversation, we can't even sit down and have it. Yes, it is nowhere to be found. So that, but now it is getting better.
Okay.
So which means there are people who are willing to listen. You first of all need to identify that you have a problem. That's the first thing. Because some people, you will see that they have a problem, but they will not accept the fact that they have that problem. So you first of all need, as the person, identified, okay, I don't mess up. And by the time you identify that, you now look at, okay, what are the next things to do? For someone who has not gotten probably into depression, or you're not dealing with anxiety, what kind of help are available there? I think Lagos State is doing amazing work. There's Lagos Mind, and Lagos Mind is a 24/7 online access that you can have access to therapies, counselor, and I don't know all of those details, but I know there's Lagos Mind from Lagos State government that is willing to help. And there are a lot of community-focused organizations, like my own organization, Evolve. What we also have like a first aid for people who are struggling like that. So if you are in that kind of fix, the first thing to do is to actually look for people around you that can listen. But I know, because you might be scared that people are going to be judgmental and all, another thing to do if you are not comfortable with people around you is to search online. What are the best available options? We are in the digital world. And I'm sure by the time you search for mental health help in Lagos, the first option you see is the Lagos Mind, because it belongs to the government. Then you see other communities like Evolve, Companion, and every other organization that have like, and most of these things are even free, because accessing mental health solutions are actually very expensive, and all of this thing has been provided by either the community, by the Lagos State government for free, so that people can have access. Then after that, don't go back to what that caused you to, yes, don't go back to your trigger. Another thing I want to mention is that people feels like mental health is a destination. it's not a destination, it's a journey. Just like if you have malaria and the doctor has prescribed a drug for you, a medicine for you, a medication for you to take, and you take it for 1 day, and because the headache had disappeared, you left it. It's going to come back one way or the other.
And coming back is with full force.
Yes. So by the time people like just do 1 or 2 sessions, they disappear. They feel like, I'm now better. And before you know, you've got back to what had triggered you, and the thing now come back. People will now say, village people or something. So treat it as a journey and just enjoy the process.
Fantastic, fantastic. Still on the conversation, let's go on a quick break. We still have Rewan in the studio with us. Yes, it's still the Lagos Youth Show, and the conversation on mental health has been super, super insightful. With Rewan. Awesome. And I would like to come in from the angle where you spoke about the advent of technology. There have been a lot of, recent times, there have been a lot of reported cases of people utilizing AI, all right, to try to address their mental health issues. And in some cases, they now, AI give recommendations that is outside of the box. And you now hear people drink water, drink this and drink that. And, you know, those tools and platforms, they have different way they interpret, you know, different situations. And we've had cases where it even resulted to worst case scenarios. So what are your advice to particularly young people? I was, at one time, I was in a meeting with a friend, and she was in a situation, and she just went straight and said, hello, Meta AI, please, if you're in this situation, what will you do? You know? So young people, the way they are relating with AI now, you'll be amazed with the information they disclose to this platform. So to better addressing mental health issues, what are your thoughts with regards to utilizing digital platforms like artificial intelligence? Okay,
thank you. That was a very interesting question. But before I attend to that question, I want to let you know that there are scarce of professionals in Nigeria. I think we are about 232 million, and we do not have up to 1,000 professionals that can attend to mental health cases. So if, let's assume that we now even have 1,000. So 1,000, one person is supposed to attend to 232 persons in Nigeria. So they are scarce. And that's why we need to start focusing on that aspect. And to now attend to your question, you can't blame people. Although I said that it is getting better, unlike before, but you know, most people are not very, very comfortable with AI to the extent that they rather tell AI their problem than tell someone that is sitting beside them. But using technology for anything you are doing, they are supposed to be like a layer, not the main, not your primary tools for anything. Even at work, yes, AI is here to make our life better, and it's not going anywhere. So if you are not using AI now, you better start using it. But at the end of the day, they are not supposed to take full control of our life. They are not supposed to take the ownership. Many people had gone to schools, people are from the BSc level, master, PhD, to study psychology, to study psychiatry, to study all of these things because they want to make life of people better. And as far as artificial intelligence can also do the job, it can't do it because it doesn't have a human feeling. It doesn't have that feeling that comes with someone listening to you. You know, there are things that you read in between the line. AI will not be able to read that. Just give you straight based off what you are what you have told him. And it also depends on how you've trained your AI.
Yeah.
If you train your AI to be very, very difficult, it's going to be that kind of difficulty answer. So I still tell people, yes, AI can do like a first aid for you, but always seek help. Always reach out to professional. It is very, very important. AI cannot solve that problem.
Okay, so short, like briefly, just to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd like you to, give advice, because families are the first contact in whatever way we find ourselves, or whatever way mental health is coming in. Now, for the person going through it, and for the family, for the community, how should the community and the family help one who is going through the mental health, and how should the person going through it speak to the community and the family? Because like we said earlier, not everybody is willing to talk. But how can that be done, especially to the family member, because that's your first contact?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I always tell people that most of the time you don't need to have solution to this other person's problem, because firstly, you've not been trained to handle such cases.
True.
I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist, and I will not take on such cases. But sometimes, just listening to that person and not judge, don't give answer, don't give solution. Sometimes, I don't know if you do it. By the time you speak, you talk about everything. Your mind is free, and yes, you feel light because you've actually said it. And sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah.
So family members, friends, just need to be in that position where they can listen. If it's now beyond them, then let's seek for help together. That is like the first stage. That is what you need to do at that time. And for every person who is going through mental health problem and who had seek help, the best thing we can do is to support them by not being judgmental and not say, your own problem is too much, you are stressing, because they might have been suicidal twice. I wanted to take my own life, and I have good friends around me who will never complain, and that is why I'm here now. If they are complaining that your own is too much, if you want to go and die, go and die,
Have given up.
Yes, so you just need to be very, because it's a delicate phase. And you might not really, because you are not that person that is feeling it, you might not really know how it is. Yes, and sometimes it just comes with, what's the English of it, Conra? They are just
cranky.
Yes, they are just very cranky. They are just angry. They just wake up and they don't want to talk to anybody and all of those stuff. So just be there, be a support system, and be a shoulder to lean on.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, it's been an awesome
one. Yes, let me say it like you.
A lot of people need to sign up to do a session with you.
Of course.
Even the way you talk is so soft. I would, if my type is having mental health, I will reduce
your mind
pressure.
will calm down.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Here in the studio, let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back as we wrap up the show. Yes, it's still the Lagos Youth Show, and it has been an awesome and insightful conversation with our guests. Mental health.
People that are using mental health to
see, the truth is, I've personally had an experience.
Okay.
And before now, I used to say, mental health, what do people mean? Until when I had a major crisis.
Well, I've not had. I have. But I think when it happened, it got to a point I just left the environment because it was beginning to stress me. I remember. But I feel like most things, almost everybody, one way or the other, have experienced.
Some are not just conscious about it.
In mental health.
Yeah,
almost everybody have experienced it. So I just feel like whenever you notice something is disturbing you mentally, you feel like you're overthinking things, please check it.
Then speak to someone.
Yeah,
like I said,
I feel like just check it.
Say
that. And if you know the environment is not comfortable for, just leave.
And
allow it.
And it's interesting that he mentioned that we have a lot of support system. All right, if you're going to utilize artificial intelligence, do it in a very discreet way. Like he said, it's very important you can use AI for first aid. first aid engagement, but when it gets deeper, please you should consult a practitioner.
Consult, yes, please.
Practitioner.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, on that note, let's keep up the conversation across our various social media platforms at the Lagos Youth Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Let's ensure that would create a better enabling environment for young people to thrive. At the same time, be a good support system to somebody out there. Oh, you notice them acting in a different way that is unusual. So you can start up a conversation. I think we all need the help we can get within our small clusters. All right. Thank you so much. On that note, to wrapping up the show, my name is Tosin Ikuyiminu.
And I am Oluwatosin Olajide. See ya.
See you next
time.
one.